Hello, this is Team Hyyvmind, Milestone 3 presentation, and we're just going to go top down from our list, so we'll start with Abby, go to me, Sean, Alex, and then end off with Chandler. Take it away.
For Milestone 3, my task was to 3D model a baby grand piano. The purpose of this is that at some point in the future, as we're continuing the game into next semester, we are planning on allowing players who have died to drop different, like the pianos and the barrels, onto the players that are still alive on the map to try to create more damage and try to like make it more interesting for the players that have died.
Nice. Is that it? Alright. For my part, I was continuing the main menu theme. I'm nearly done. I didn't get completely finished with the song as I like to because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. But I added this new bass line part that loops back to this first melody. I expanded the melodies a little bit for this first part, this B section, and gave them some, what you call it, counter melody or harmonization melody with it. I will just play some segments here. So this is like with the harmonization on the first melody I just added. So it's just like an extra chip tune right on top of the main one. And then for the guitar section, it has a harmonization up here, which is pretty nice as well. I added a bass guitar, which was lacking from last one. And then this part is still a work in progress, but it's kind of just a bass solo. And then once it gets back to the end here, it'll loop to the start. And then they would just loop back here, skipping this intro part. Once I completely finish this, I will ask Chandler to... Chandler is thinking about drawing up something, and I'll upload it to my YouTube channel. So if you want to listen to the whole thing there, it will be there eventually. And then we'll move on to Sean.
Alright, so mine's a little bit complex, so I'll break it down here. What should be on screen right now is PlayFab. This is a service by Microsoft, and it's comparable to the Amazon services that I showed off last time, except PlayFab has a plugin for it called Godot PlayFab, which gives all of its features over to Godot, which is the game engine we're using. So I've gone ahead with some examples in the research that I've done over this length of time for this milestone. I created a small little example here using the API to allow for user registration and login. So we'll go ahead and we'll make a quick account. I've been enumerating all of these with just a test and the numbers. So there's no validation here. It's just being able to create a user for my little game test here. So we'll hit go. You'll see it'll be processing, and it registered our user who was test 7. So if we come over here to our API screen, or not API, but our little game development screen over here, give it a moment. See if it'll load. Okay. So I don't know if you noticed, but you'll see here we actually gained a player over here. This hasn't updated yet, but this has. So if we go to search, you'll see here that we've now gained our test 7 user. Our last login, I think this is adjusted for a different time zone, but we just created that login. And if we come back to here, we go to our register page that I've created for this. We can go ahead and attempt to, or not register, we go to our login page, excuse me. I gave our user a test email of test7@gmail.com. I provide our password, and you'll see here it'll be processing. And we are denoted as logging in with this entity token, which is a fraction of the massive result that gets returned when you have a successful login. We'll go ahead and attempt another login, test7@gmail.com. Let's give a password that we know isn't correct. We hit go, and you'll see that the processing here will completely hang because it's not able to return a successful result. I'll go ahead and close that out and reopen it just so I can show off a different error because that will run forever. Again, we'll try some other email that doesn't exist, even with like the correct password for our last example, and we'll try and hit go, and you'll see it'll hang forever as well. And you'll also note that when we open and close the program, this isn't saved locally by the program. We're not doing any storage here. We are actually interacting with the endpoints that we are given by PlayFab. And this is all working in Godot, so this is my ultimate goal for this milestone. We can pass it off to Alex.
So for mine, I imported the Godot or the Selene map into Godot and added all of our destructible objects. I also attached the melee attack to the ability to destroy these objects. And right now, just because it's on a debug mode, you can see the melee attack. We also have directional attacks. We have left and right, depending on which direction your character is facing. And you can see it's a little bit wider to account for if a player is like above or below you. And yeah, that's what I did for this sprint. Guess we'll finish it off with Chandler.
All right. What I did this sprint was try to implement some form of artificial intelligence or just a simple bot that the player can fight against if they want to play single player or not online. And this will also help with our debugging, just trying to fight against other players without having to actually start the online service or anything like that. And so the bulk of, I essentially copied over what was the template character. I just added a few lines to move automatically towards the player. So some pathfinding. Godot makes this pretty simple, actually. I followed a tutorial, and it's only like these 4 lines, essentially. And then if it's in a certain distance of the player, it's going to attack right now. And so I'll just go right into the game. Well, I guess he jumped right there for a second, but anyways, yeah, it's just going to continuously play the attack animation, and the hitbox is appearing there. It's not disappearing. He's just like attacking like infinite amount of times. But anyways, if I punch him, he'll knock back a little bit, and he'll keep running towards me. So yeah, something I didn't look into as much yet or didn't implement is him jumping obviously up to me, as well as jumping on like these platforms and stuff like that. And also you'll see, as opposed to Alex's, the directional attacking isn't implemented yet. This was developed on a separate branch as part of a knockback effect spike that was part of senior design. So you can, yeah, well, I guess he's dead right now, but so the knockback won't apply. But anyways, that's what I did. I think that concludes everyone.
Yep, that concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching, and thank you, class. Okay, I'm stopping the recording.